You will not believe what this room used to look like. Now this room is our master ensuite, a room that we can come home from work and relax in here. But just 6 months ago, this was our tiny box bedroom, which served absolutely no use for us. So we ripped it apart, put in new electrics, new plumbing, we boarded up the walls, I plastered this room myself, we tiled for what felt like years and years, and this is where we are now. And I've vlogged the whole process, so let's get to it. So here's the before. This was actually 2 separate bedrooms, each with their own entrance. So first on the list was creating a doorway from the master bedroom into what would become the ensuite, and then ripping apart this smaller bedroom. Some of you might remember this mural that I painted 3 years ago. This used to be Lawrence's office space, and he's a bit of a nerd, as you can tell, so I freehand drew this whole thing. It's actually quite sad to see it go, but that's not the vibe anymore. So the plan from this side is that the door will go somewhere in the middle of the room. So the door will go here, slide in that way. There's a door here which will need to get blocked up. And then, so as you come into the room, we're thinking toilet, go in this corner, nice vanity unit in front of me. And then we're going to go for a big freestanding bath in this room. So we have an electrician coming tomorrow to get us started with the first fix in this room and that room, so basically rewiring this whole 2 rooms. So the plan for today is to clear up any of the existing trims, like all of this trim and door and everything will not be needed in the new ensuite. So we're going to rip all of that out and we're going to mark out for the electrician where the new electrics are going to be ready for them tomorrow. I started by taking off all the skirting and architrave in this room and then realised that most of the wall was actually coming off with it, which was not ideal. Lawrence is going to go wild today. He's going to come home from work and it's going to be destroyed. But in hindsight, actually, it didn't matter at all because we ended up hiding all of the new plumbing inside this wall anyway. So the old lath and plaster would have had to come down anyway. Our pocket door installation is starting tomorrow. So here's me doing the full transition. And we have a pocket door. So instead of like putting the door into the wall, we've built a fake wall this side in the ensuite. So there's like a stud wall kind of on top of the original wall, and then we've just put the door inside the new stud wall. Yeah, super cool. And the best way to save space, because we don't have a door wasting space in here, we don't have a door wasting space in here, it's just all tightly tucked into here. And when I say we did all this, the pocket door, the first fix plumbing and the electrics were actually done with a bit of help, because at the time we were both working full time and we just didn't have the hours spare. But once the plumbers were done with that, I did insulate the floor with acoustic insulation. I put the floorboards back down and started prepping the walls for plastering, which was something that I was going to tackle myself. We've got full videos on how we prep the walls for the plastering and how I skim this ensuite wall if you fancy a proper step-by-step tutorial. But I'll give you the quick rundown here too. So first up, I went around filling in any holes with bonding plaster so the surface was as flat as possible. Then I added angle beads on all of the outside corners, so especially around this window. So when it came to plastering, I get a really nice crisp edge. After that, I scrim taped every single joint. And that's this orange mesh tape that you stick over the joins on the boards, and it really helps stop the cracks showing through the top coat later on. The only bits that I didn't prep were the floor and the wall with all the plumbing in, because we wanted extra waterproofing in those areas. So at this stage, it was all about getting the rest of the walls sound straight and ready for skimming. Ready to be skimmed? Maybe tomorrow. Maybe. Probably not. Today we're going to plaster this wall. So as this wall is just plasterboard, we don't need to PVA it, so we're going to get straight to the multi-finish. And yep, we've also got a full video on skimming walls, which I actually taught myself plastering a few years ago when we got a quote for £10,000 to plaster the house, and I thought, I can definitely do that. So I picked up a trowel and off I went. It's not perfect, but with every wall I get a little bit better, and honestly I quite enjoy learning the new tricks every time, and collecting trowels as well.
It is one of those jobs though that I think you either have the knack for it or you don't. It's quite a hard DIY skill to learn out of all the skills that we have learned. So today's jobs, I'm going to be working on creating a niche in this wall. This is going to be tiled, so I'd really like to be able to put some products on the wall. So that's my job. And then Lawrence is going to be working on laying these insulated tile backer boards. And I'll explain more as we go through the process. So he's going to be laying these on this wall and the floor. Quick rant. I have had many people mansplain to me that these are not NoMorePly boards. They are. Google NoMorePly XPS insulation tile backing board and you will find them in Wix. So yesterday we cut all of the tile insulation boards and dry fit them just to progress the room. We've run out of fixings, but today we've got some fixings, so I'll show you how we fix these boards into place. So we're using the STS screws and washers for their tile backing board, and we are also using the Mega Strength adhesive, again specific for NoMorePly boards. And I rate these boards very highly. They are easy to cut, easy to fit and perfect for this job. And since this isn't a wet room, we didn't need to fully tank the space anyway. The glue for this is very intense though. It swells like expanding foam after a few minutes and it sticks to everything, so be warned. But it does make the board super easy to install. I used 2 circles of glue on the back, plus screws and washers in the joints for extra strength, and you can cut them with a Stanley knife. 10 out of 10 from me. The next step may have been overkill, but since we've never done this before, we went belt and braces. We used North Aquapanel tape on the joints to prevent the cracks, bedded in with flexible tile adhesive. And I would give Lawrence's technique of using his hands maybe a -3 out of 10. Then it was finally time to tile, but before picking up a single tile, we spent ages planning out where they would go to avoid any tiny awkward cuts at the edges and on our niches. For this, we used a wooden batten marked up with tile spacing, and we moved it up and down the wall until we were happy that everything looked symmetrical. So this is where we're going to go we're going to put a tile in that bit like that. Then the tiling began. And this is not rocket science. I would say tiling is a pretty DIY friendly job, but it does take forever, especially if you're like me and you've picked the tiniest tiles known to man. Lawrence had literally had enough of me by day 4 and made me swear that I'd never rope him into tiling ever again. However, you cannot tell me that this wasn't worth it because the wall looked amazing and I'm so happy with how it turned out. But after 5 solid days of tiling, we had to do something else. So we turned to mist coat in the room and painting it. Always a very satisfying job. We do a 50-50 water to paint mixture, and then I colour match the paint to Farrow & shaded white. We have a minor problem. The door, I've laid out the tiles for the floor, and the door scrapies along. Like just. So I'm gonna need to take some off the bottom of the door or adjust it, which I didn't really want to do, but let's get it done. Luckily, I'd left all the skeleton architrave until last, just in case we had any door issues, and of course we did, because we still had to fit a freestanding bath through as well. Luckily, it was just a matter of planing a few millimetres off the bottom of the door and popping it back on. No drama.
Now let's tile the floor.
To Lawrence's delight, I chose more really small tiles for the floor and even a patterned layout. But by this point, we were absolute experts. I did try one of those levelling spacer kits from Amazon, but it just made things messier and I got tile adhesive everywhere, all between the joints. And then it was a nightmare to clean off, so I binned them off and went back to the simple cross spacers with a spirit level. This is a very satisfying time lapse to see. And then I did have some tiles left over, so instead of buying skirting, I made a 2 tile high border around the whole room.
So casual.
And then I grouted everything with clay brick grout in the shade Driftwood. Again, grouting isn't that hard, it's just back-breaking work, especially making sure it doesn't dry on the tiles before you're finished. For the floor, as they were porcelain and a little bit more porous. We actually used a pre-grout protector, which was a lifesaver as we're pretty slow with the grouting process. And it just means they're not going to get stained during this process. Once I'd spent 4 whole lifetimes tiling this room, it was time for some satisfying paint touch-ups and some paint pulls before moving on to the upcycled vanity. Come through here, I'll show you what the plan is. So we've already got the plumbing installed in the wall and the electric, so the vanity is going to sit here. And it does have like a kind of headboard thing behind it, which I'll show you, which I've already started to clear up downstairs. But I think it's going to look so perfect when it's in there and all done. I found this second-hand unit on Facebook Marketplace and the marble was just the perfect match for the tiles I'd chosen. And then I spent ages sanding, restaining, replacing the upstand tiles, and I absolutely love it. I think it just looks perfect in here. Again, I have a video on the whole of the upcycle process. And then it was just a case of fixing the last little snags and our dream bathroom was done. Please let me know in the comments what you think of this transformation, and if you enjoyed it, please remember to subscribe and like and come back for more content like this. We'd love to have you.